From the last-minute event changes due to the frigid cold temperatures to the close-up encounters between political rivals. Speaking of that pastor who delivered those remarks yesterday, the presidential inauguration of Donald Trump deviated from the norm and broke several traditions. I want to bring in CBS News political reporter Olivia Rinaldi to talk about some of the things that we saw. I was just sort of chuckling to myself about that pastor yesterday, Olivia, who basically cribbed Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech from his appearance on the National Mall in 1963. And I was gauging reaction on social media. It felt like as if a lot of people had never heard that speech before, given the fact that they talked about the revelatory aspects of it. But give me a sense of some of the things that have come out and that stood out to you over the course of yesterday, beginning with the tradition of swearing the oath of office on a Bible, of course, which stretches all the way back to George Washington. Not every president has ever done it. Why did President Trump choose not to do it?
Yeah, Vlad, it's good to be with you. A lot of things standing out to people yesterday, particularly about Trump not putting his hand on the Bible when he took that oath of office. It's actually interesting. There is no law requiring, and it's not in the Constitution, no requirement that an incoming president or anyone being sworn in has to put their hand on something when they are taking that oath. They just have to raise their right hand and make that oath. Now, obviously, yesterday, what's interesting is that the program was running a little bit behind. The Constitution does require a president to be sworn in by noon on January 20th, and we were at about 12:01. So for about a minute, we didn't have any leadership there. So when Chief Justice John Roberts stood up, he got right into the oath, and Trump stood up and started giving it. Melania had not exactly made her way over to Trump yet. So perhaps that is some of the reasoning why he didn't put his hand specifically on those Bibles. But as you mentioned, there are several presidents in history who have not done that, including Teddy Roosevelt, who is a personal hero of Trump. So perhaps that explains why he did not put his hand on those two Bibles yesterday as he was taking that oath.
And if my presidential memory serves me well, I believe John Quincy Adams also did not put his hand on the Bible, used a book of law. But what were some of the most notable moments there in the Capitol Rotunda for you, including just seeing all living presidents there, all the public figures, all of those tech oligarchs standing up there with the president? Meanwhile, some members of Congress and governors were in a waiting room, like Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. An inauguration like we've never seen before. As you mentioned, there were a lot of tech billionaires within that building, sitting right next to Supreme Court justices, sitting next to other notable figures in government, Trump's incoming cabinet. We saw Mark Zuckerberg. We saw Jeff Bezos and his fiancée, Lauren Sanchez. We also saw the leader of TikTok. And of course, we saw Elon Musk, who has not been far from wherever Donald Trump has been over the last 2 months, all there in that building. I also noticed on social media last night that the likes of some TikTokers like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Theo Vaughn, people who are famous on social media for that youth outreach that Trump has talked about so often, were also in the Capitol yesterday, talking about how close some people can really get to this new president. That was quite notable to me there.
All right, Olivia Rinaldi for us. Thank you, Olivia. Appreciate it.